Okay.
Okay.
First bolt in the bottom.
Bracket off.
Take the bracket off, yeah.
Top bolt. See, that wasn't too tight. So there's the key. Don't over tighten those bolts. They don't do much. They're just lateral hold.
What size is that socket?
This is a 1/2 inch.
1/2 inch, okay.
Yep. Brake cable. Oh, this one's harder to open than the... Oh. This will just give us that little extra bit of wiggle room for the...
So this is a release of the brake cable.
Yeah. Look at this, it's a bit wrapped around itself. And this is the anti-lock brake sensor right here. And that's the cable, the brake cable itself. Will be crimping off. Okay, next step. Look at that, it's already wiggling. Come on, release. Oh, God. There we go.
You want that hanger?
Yeah. And then what? You put one in with brake pads already?
Right.
Seems like a bad...
All right, so just pulled off
Okay,
the brake shoes. These don't look too bad though.
Yeah, they're definitely better than the other side. Hot dang. Hot diggity.
So we used a little hanger here to just hang on the whole thing while we're working on it.
There we go.
Other shoe.
These pads are in better shape than the other side. There's still a little bit left on that one.
Yeah.
It's always surprises every time you look in a car, right?
It is, yeah.
So let's not clamp it where that compromised section is.
Okay. So we're clamping the brake line.
Yep, to try and keep it from leaking too much. And then we got to take off that banjo bolt.
Okay.
You gonna try and video that?
Okay.
You ready?
What's the size of that?
5/8.
5/8. Getting the band. There we go.
That came off so quickly.
Yeah. There we go.
Okay.
There's the caliper right off.
The old one. Keep it from pouring out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Very good.
Look at that beautiful thing.
Beautiful.
And a whole clip set, which I found quite interesting. The other one had it come with the brake pads, which seems weird too. But all right, so we got the 2 washers here on the banjo bolt, right there. Mazza fasa, Mufasa.
Okay, so now we're pushing the piston in.
Yeah, we're just gonna push it in as far as we can.
Just to give us some more space to work with.
Yeah, just in case it's slightly out from the manufacturer.
Yeah. And if you don't have one of these fancy, what do you call it?
Caliper depressors.
Yeah. And what did you do last time? What did you
I had something similar, but it was just a cheapie.
Yeah.
The old Canadian Tire Special. These ones are a little bit better. And it didn't have the proper cap on this side here, which made it so much harder, right?
Yeah, yeah. Okay, what's next?
All right, so we're putting a washer on the top of the banjo bolt. Banjo bolt can be seen because it's got a hole in the middle. Comes out to a hole on the side, which goes through into the channel where the brake fluid comes in right here. So, and it's narrow all around, so the fluid can go right around the base of that. And then put that through, washer on this side like that. Cool. And this, we're gonna need another set of hands.
Okay.
Technically we don't need it, but it sure helps. We're basically gonna put that thing in like this.
Right.
Like that. But we'll get some hand, yeah.
Okay.
Gonna get that. Okay. So just for now, we're going to give it a medium tighten, and then we're going to use a torque wrench on it to give it 35 foot-pounds. Once it's in place right here. Okay, you want to let go?
Okay.
Got it. And then once we have it just sitting here, dry fit, that's where we want her.
Cool.
So basically, I'm going to go into here, into banjo bolt territory right there, like that. And then I'll be tightening it like this. Got it?
You want me to hold it? Yeah.
Yeah, I need your good force on that.
Right.
It's now compressing that copper. God, it always scares me. I feel like I'm over tightening. There we go.
There you go.
35.
Okay.
Okay, good. Now we got to do a channel cleaning.
Yeah.
Always support your caliper,
Right.
because if you ever let it hang on the brake cable,
Yeah.
you can damage the brake cable.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So that's why you always want to have a hook of some sort.
Right.
Coat hangers will work, but not with these heavy calipers. All right, so now we got to clean these channels. Metal file, and then we'll grease them. Oh, sorry. Okay, same with the top ones. The lower section. Got it. Okay. So this one's not as bad as the other one.
Tapping out the rust.
Yeah. And we're gonna scratch the top. Yeah, these are the cooling fins. And if you get a lot of rust buildup in here, you don't get a lot of airflow, or it reduces the airflow, so you don't get as much cooling. So I'm just gonna give it a bit of a rust removing once over here. You can use a wire brush or whatever you like. Okay. In theory, you kind of want to make sure these are clear all the way down, because those are the ones that get blocked up by rust and debris. Then you get braking overheating. Oh, see, a big chunk just fell out.
Okay, new shoes here.
Where's that metal file? Old versus new. You know, it's funny, look at it. So, surface, see how the surface increases as it wears down? So you get more braking surface the further down they're worn. See how much further out it goes?
Right.
In those parts
Oh,
here?
yeah, that's right.
Same with this part here, is even a little bit down.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, so we found that it was really dense, or really like barely any room. So we're just going to give these things a quick
Sand it down, just
sand
took
them
off
down,
the top.
just to make them nice and flat, so there's no ups.
Yeah, yeah.
Nice and flat. All right, we left the shim on the inside of the other one.
So we're taking off the shims just to give it a little bit more space.
Yeah, because the piston was completely compressed, plus, and that was still not enough space.
Yeah, yeah.
Because these are thick pads.
Yeah.
All right, so what do we want? So meat point. Geez, even that's a little bit. No, that's good. Okay. So we want to put grease along this little channel here in this area and on the top, so that it can slide a little bit.
So that was the long shoe, and this is the short shoe?
No, this is, yeah.
I mean, the one's slightly bigger.
It's all right. I put a little bit here where we filed it off.
Yeah.
And then I'm just going to put a little bit right here. And yes, I know it can gather dust, brake dust, and cause a nice, what do you call it, like a clay,
Yeah.
which can, you know, trap the pad. But I'm trying it this way this time, so whatever. Okay.
Okay, in it goes.
In it goes, and feels nice and tight, snug, doesn't rattle or anything, which is good. And then this one goes on the inside of the caliper, so we're gonna have to put that in as we lift it up. That one fits on way better. There. No forcing needed.
Yeah,
all
cool.
that prep work made it just slip right into place.
Yeah.
So there, that's in.
Nice.
Now we just need to lock this thing down like this with the 2 clips on both sides here.
Right.
And then we got to bleed the air bubbles all out.
Okay.
This is generally the orientation. Oops, nope, not like that. Like this. That's one. That's the other one. Like that. So that's the orientation.
Okay.
But we found them not to be the most flush fit. So we did use the old ones on the other side. The old ones seemed to fit better here.
Yeah.
More snugly against the back, which gave them a bit of a better surface to grab hold of. And these are the warning clips. They're supposed to contact with the side of the caliper when it gets worn enough, and then the vibrations from it will go here and make this thing make noise. So yeah, so these are gonna go here, and they basically keep the caliper from flipping out, flopping off the top of it. So like this. Somewhere here, there's a hole.
Bottom one.
And that was a 10 lightweight.
Yeah. There we go, there's one.
Yeah. You can see it push down nicely on it. And then that puts force on this part here, which holds the clip in place on those rails. Slidey rails. It's just easy to grab.
Okay.
But yeah, so 3/8. 3/8. And open it there. So this is what we're gonna do all over. Brake bleeding through. Now we gotta get the bleeding kit. If you push the brakes, right? Technically then all you need is the line in from the bleeder nipple right from here. And then goes into this container here through and down into the bottom, and then it fills up. And then when the pressure is released from the brakes, it pulls fluid back. So, all right.
Cool.
Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to undo this.
Undo the clamp.
Undo the clamps.
Brake line.
Yeah, just make sure there's no damage to the brake line. Looks good.
And some brake fluid.
And it pump it.
Okay, so you got the hose on the.
I got the hose on here. And then
okay.
And then when one side.
Okay, now I'm gonna pump the brake.
Okay, ready?
Yep.
Okay, pump. Oh, beautiful. Okay, go again. It's already bubble free.
There you go. Okay, say when.
Okay. Go. Nice. Yep. Again. Nice and clean. Oh, one more bubble just came out. That's good. Okay, one more.
Okay.
All the way to the floor.
Yeah.
Okay, and then go again. Another couple of bubbles came out.
Right.
Okay, good.
One more?
Nope, that's good.
Okay.
So this bleeder valve is kind of interesting though, because it seems to be dripping a little when I open it,
Yeah.
which is kind of weird. It's that loose, like when you loosen it a bit, that it lets fluid come out around the edges of the thread. And this is all the old stuff that's been sitting in the lines for a long time. Yep.
Okay.
And I just hand tighten this, so we're gonna have to do one more time, and then I'll do a proper tightening.
Okay.
With the, unfortunately, I don't have a proper wrench. Okay, so now I'll be able to give it a good tightening once it's to the point where we're okay. I could try doing a suction. I feel like air is coming in the thread,
Yeah, probably.
right? So I feel it's better when we do it with the
Just do a
the
pump.
pedal. Yeah, another pump. So you can tighten this. But I'll use this one. This
Another,
actually fits.
another pump of the brake, get the rest out, and now you're tightening it up.
Yep. Now so now I tightened it with a wrench
Yeah.
when we got the clean, no bubbles coming out of it.
Mm-hmm.
And now we got her.
Cool. Nice.
Nice, smooth slide.
Yep.
It's got a little bit, it's just overlapping a little bit onto this rusty part right here, which is why it's so grindy sounding. But you give it a little bit of driving and it'll flatten this stuff right out. Same goes for the inside, right? There's a little tiny bit of a lip, which is probably just touching the edge of it.
Yeah. Cool.
All right, you want to step on the old brake skis and we'll
try it out? Sure.
I'll try it. There we go. And then we got this. The ram's upside down.
You gotta get your tires rotated.
Yeah.